Hello everyone, good evening. Hope everybody's keeping well. So I meant to do this video a good long time ago. Didn't get around to it. So basically, you've probably seen anybody that was watching on Calendar this year, last year, well, technically this year, it's still not September yet, so last September, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, basically, I came up with a slogan off for Calvin, and I'll just tell you where I kind of got it and things like that, because I'll tell you a bit of the backstory and all that, because it tells you all you need to know. Basically, well and quiet to say to every Calvin person, it's time to move, it's time to promote Calvin Day and all the rest of that. All the good stuff indeed. But yeah, so basically, I get it from King Haakon the Tenth of Norway. He was the king of Norway during the Second World War, before the Second World War too, and to 1957 he was king of Norway. And obviously, as you know, the Germans invaded Norway in 1940, as far as I know, 1940. And obviously the king fled Norway to the United Kingdom and government in exile. His statement, particularly before the war, was all for Norway. Basically, everything for Norway. That's what he was king for. All for Norway, everything. Like his whole life is dedicated to Norway, and to serve Norway and to serving its people. And even King Kong, just talking out of context just for a second, he was a different kind of king because he didn't like the public having to spend money for him, if that makes any sense. Like every country, the taxpayer pays a bit for the monarch, if that makes any sense. He spent out of his own pocket the majority of his money along with the Queen. I can't remember the Queen's name. But they weren't a big fan of the taxpayer paying for their lifestyle, so they lived a very, very modest lifestyle, very, very basic lifestyle compared to other royal families at the time. So very progressive system there. Because again, Norway, as you know, Norway now has huge amount of oil and gas, of its coast. And obviously back in before the Second World War during the 1930s, Norway was a very poor country. Didn't have much money. So it made sense. Obviously, you couldn't be a king and just live in luxury, and your people suffer dearly. We seen that in Tsar was Russia, and that didn't end very well for them. But yeah. So that's basically it. And looking through it, and again, the reason why I kind of studied a bit of monarchies in Europe, particularly when, again, I watched the King's Speech. I talked about it before in my King's Speech review. Make sure to watch the King's Speech. It's about King George the Sixth of the United Kingdom, basically Queen Elizabeth's father, her father. So yeah, obviously he was king during the Second World War, and obviously a very, very good king. And obviously that film encouraged me to look at a lot of the royal families, particularly again, as I said, looked into King George the Sixth with his stutter and things like that, and I obviously looked at other monarchies too. Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands. Can't remember the Belgian king, but it wasn't much about the Belgian king now because he stayed. But the king of Denmark, he stayed there and went around on his horse. I can't remember his name. But yeah, a lot of monarchs I looked into. And obviously even when Hitler sent a message to him for his birthday, the king of Denmark, basically told him to go to up a lake. In other words, that's what it's like. So yeah, that was I can't remember the name of the fed, but obviously that was done for his birthday. I think it was in 1942, 1943, around that time. But that's out of context, so I'm just talking out of context. But yeah, I looked into a lot of then King Victor Emmanuel of Italy. Obviously the last king of Italy, because the monarchy was abolished in 1947 in Italy. But yeah, the last king of Italy. And then there was other King Michael of Romania. King Tsar Boris of Bulgaria. So yeah, but technically it's a Tsar, not a king, but yeah, it's the same thing really. So yeah, I looked into all this too. But yeah, I kind of stuck with that, to be totally honest, for Norway. The rest of the kings didn't really have catchphrase or saying, if you may use that. So, that was a good saying. It kind of told you all you needed to know about the king. And obviously very popular wartime king. Was the sign of the Norwegian resistance from abroad. Obviously a monarch is a very popular figurehead. It's a sign of a country, really represents the people as a whole. But yeah, let me know what you think and subscribe for more, and bye.